Chof, and the Rebbe was bringing, of course, because today is the Rebbe's father's yahrzeit, Rav Levi Yitzchak, who was exiled to faraway lands in Altama, I think it's called, and was there for many years and came out totally physically broken and passed away quite soon afterwards, on the 20th of Tavshin Dalet, 1944, so it's 82 years. So that year is Tavshin Yud. The Rebbe was bringing literally 6 years to his father's yahrzeit. We're discussing the idea of the Ma'or, the source of light of Torah, that Torah, no matter what, if you learn Torah, it's machzor lemutav, the source of light of Torah brings a person back. So we're continuing, Sif Yud Gimel. Ha'amaliyah, this is what we said, Hugam and yegiah limud Torah chassidus. This is applicable, of course, also to the teachings of chassidus. The Tractate Kiddushin, my father-in-law, the previous Levitin Rebbe. The Rebbe said like this. In the earlier generations, Kamoi Bismana Rambam, in the time of the Rambam Maimonides, there was a great concern. The Galis Torahs HaKabbalah, the teachings of Kabbalah was something that were a hidden study, and as like the Rebbe says many times, the Rambam himself was a big Kabbalist, was very careful not to put anything of Kabbalah into the Sefer Yad, into his publications of this book of Halacha. As the previous Rebbe talks about, the concern and the care of making sure to protect the Torah Kabbalah, the Kabbalistic teachings. Even in the days of the Arizal, where things were different, that the Arizal said Shemutru mitzvah, that's permissible and it's a mitzvah, it's obligatory. The Gali says to start teaching the teachings of Chassidus in the times of the Riyah Kadosh. There was still prep that was required before one could learn Kabbalah. There were certain yehiratzins you had to say, certain prayers that had to be said before one studies Kabbalah. You can't just open up a book of Kabbalah because it's very holy and ruchnistic to study. And even the Baal Shem Tov, which was later than the Arizal, of course, the Kabbalah was not for the teachings of people, not for the people who didn't know how to separate its simple meaning. Some of the Kabbalistic teachings have a very physical kind of understanding that the wrong person who's not on the high refined level studies it, thinks it's a physical study when it's really a very spiritual study. You have to be on a high refined level to understand, to separate the Gashmius, the physical, from the spirituality of the teachings of Chassidus, according to as the Baal Shem Tov taught us. As the Tzemach Tzedek explains the teachings of the Baal Shem Tov. V'yidu is known, Gamasibra Oidis Hakpeda, Al Rava Magid Shehit Silo Yad Merzakin, and the Magid himself, the student of the Baal Shem Tov. Again, because the student of the Baal Shem Tov said you have to be very careful. And there was a story as known that a colleague of the Magid, which his name was the Hafla, was and also student of the Baal Shem Tov, found a piece of the teachings of the Magid floating on the floor in a piece of paper, and he says, "This is what you're doing. You're spreading the teachings of Chassidus, something so sacred that it's just floating on the floor." He was very upset, and his akpada could have caused big turmoil in heaven. He was a big tzaddik, and the Baal Shem Tov had to explain with the special mashal that when you crush a stone to save the son of the king, that even if though the stone is the centerpiece of the crown, the most precious diamond, but to get even a drop of liquid, of the liquefied stone, into the mouth of the dying prince would save him. So that's an example for Chassidus. Chassidus is important. The Jewish people needed to survive, especially at the times, and in our times even more so, in the darkness of Golos, the last days of Golos. And therefore, even if something spills out and something goes to waste and something is mismanaged or miskept, misprotected, but if a drop goes to the right person at the right time, it could save that person's life and the life of Klal Yisrael. The Rebbe says, and the Rebbe, Alter Rebbe himself, a student of the Maggid, also went further than the rest of the students of the Magadim is rich, to teach chassidus even on a more level of understanding for even the most simple person. And he also took heat for that. And the Rebbe says after the Rebbe, Alter Rebbe and the other Rebbes, the Rebbe says, they poured chassidus. Nevertheless, you still, it wasn't just a person could open up a tiny and start learning, you had to prepare yourself. To start learning chassidus, or to walk in the private audience, as is told by the Rebbe in his Yom Yom about the great chassidim, the Alter Rebbe, who prepared to go in, some of them for years before they went in to sit in a private audience with the Alter Rebbe, because they had to prepare their body and soul. As the Frierdiker Rebbe tells, the original chassidim, the Alter Rebbe, she's going in in order to go to a private audience. Today, someone just walked by dollars in the 90s, which was like yechidus, the Rebbe says. Those in the days of the Alter Rebbe, they took it seriously. They waited years until they went in. They prepared themselves and they davened and they refined themselves, went to the mikveh to con special resolutions. A person says, today, the Rebbe's talking 1950, but the same thing again. The reason we're learning the early years because they're all applicable to today. And a person opens up today, 2026, in Tafshin Pei Zayin, and looks at themselves and says, "Who am I to compare myself to a chassid of the Alter Rebbe? Am I even capable of preparing 10 minutes, never mind years, the proper preparation to go into yechidus?" The person knows what their situation is. You may think, how can I learn chassidus? If chassidus needs preparation, if chassidus needs care, needs some sort of seriousness, where am I holding that I should start learning chassidus? Not just that I should learn chassidus myself. You want me to go and take chassidus and teach someone else? The Rebbe is talking to our generation. Our generation is in a frozen time. From those years, of the early years of Tafshin Yud, to now, it's the same situation. So a person may say, how can I go out there and affect someone else? Who am I to affect someone else? In the teachings of chassidus. But mine also, the Rebbe says the answer is, we don't have the time. We don't have the time for this preparation. We don't have the time to push off the teachings of chassidus till we prepare, till we complete our prep. Not that it's not important to prep, it's in a crisis mode. And in the crisis mode, we don't have time for the preparation. We have to start learning right away the chassidus of the Rebbe. And to learn again, and learn another time. Weiter lernen and wieder lernen, continue to learn and learn over again. Halten sich an bei der Rebbe's Klamke. Hold on to the Rebbe's door handle, so to say. Klamke is like you're holding on to something that, anything to touch, tangible, that I could grab onto to hold on to the Rebbe. And you have trust, the same idea like we learned before. In the past class, when the Rebbe is talking, this is the theme of this Farbrengen. What's in the chassidus, the luminary that's in it. The essence of the Rebbe, that the Rebbe puts into his teachings. Will grab the person back and bring the person where that person, he or she, has to be. The Rebbe says in Yiddish, the Rebbe will already pull him out, or her out, from all the different various types of muds. The Rebbe says not only that. A person says, okay, this is applicable for a person who's holding and believes that they're holding on to the Rebbe's klamke and that the Rebbe is going to schlep us out of the mud is one thing. What about if you doubt the Rebbe himself? Or you doubt the Rebbe's ability today to help you? The Rebbe says, you say, okay, that's when the Rebbe was alive in 1992 and 93 and 83 and 73, but now it's after Tafshin and Dalet, after Gimel Tamas, but who says this is the way it is? You're doubting if the Rebbe rules things. The Rebbe is the balabas on everything. The yegiah, he knows everything, what's going on in your life. Maybe there's no more situation. And if you knew how the Rebbe knows everything, and the Rebbe is aware of everything, there's nowhere to hide from the Rebbe. Nevertheless, the person may think, who am I to learn? Nevertheless, you have to still learn, even if you doubt the Rebbe, chas v'shal, you still learn the Torah of the Rebbe. That's how far the Rebbe says. Torah tziva lanu Moshe. It says Torah tziva lanu Moshe, like we said in last class, af b'isha Torah v'gmatya Taryah. Even if you're missing the two main, you only have 611 commandments. You're missing the two commandments of Menachem v'alikecha lo yilecha. Am Hashem your Lord and don't have any foreign entities. Nevertheless, you still learn the Torah. You're missing the first two main of the Ten Commandments, like we spoke before in chapter in paragraph 11. But the Rebbe, something applies to our connection in Skashras. Moving in Mamar Zal, as it's brought down in teachings of the Chazal, if a person argues on one's Rebbe, it's like one's arguing on the Eibishter. Because nevertheless, even though you doubt the Rebbe Chas v'Shalom, but when you learn the Rebbe's Torahs, even if you're not holding with the proper confidence and the proper amun in the Rebbe, but there's a chaltin on the Rebbe's klamke, but that's itself by studying the Rebbe's Torah and understanding of your questions and your doubts and your sveikas of what's going on today. But you're holding on to the Rebbe's door handle or the doorpost. When Zayin mit im if ein wagon to be with the Rebbe in one wagon, the Rebbe is going to schlep you out and put you into the marsha boy. The atzmus of the Rebbe will schlep you and take you to the right place. This necessity that a person, no matter what, no matter where you're holding, no matter what stage, no matter nothing, you must learn the Rebbe's chassidus, Torah The Rebbe says this is most important. If it was important when the Rebbe was alive, it's even more important after the Rebbe passes away. After Stalkus. You do what's known as Piskim Shav Kvoik Dishmar Cham Yad Marshav. Before the Rebbe Shav, the fifth Rebbe Chabad passed away, the father of the Frierdiker Rebbe. Yeshua said, before he passed away, he said to the Rebbe, to the Frierdiker Rebbe, his son, Ich gehe in Himmel und die Ksavim lozich eich iber. I'm going to heaven, and my writings I'm leaving over for you. What does that mean? Obviously, if he's going to heaven, the writings stay here. As Barber said, what's the Rebbe Shabti telling his son? I move me Eluv Shabbat. Allah says Hashemayim and Yishar Maksav and Ba'isem Akum Shem Menachem Tchila. The Frierdiker Rebbe knows that the writings of his father, the Rebbe Shab, are in his bookcase or in his shelves. It wasn't like he needed the Rebbe Shab, his father, to tell him where he left them. It's obvious that they're still here. The point of it is, even when the Rebbe Shab, a Rebbe goes up into heaven, it's not the writings, the words. It's how he encloses himself. How the Rebbe writes himself into his Torah. So when you read and you learn the Rebbe's chassidus, it's not just you learning ideas, you're connecting to the Rebbe because the Rebbe's essence is in his teaching. So the Rebbe Rashab is saying, I physically may be going up to heaven, but the essence of who I am is still in my writings and my teachings. Even though if he's going up to heaven, the essence of the Rebbe remains in the writings and the teachings and the Torahs. And when we learn the writings and the chassidus of our Rebbe, then you have him, not his ideas, him himself. And not the way he was then when he said the chassidus. As he elevates, you get his elevations. His whole being is in there, meaning to say it's not his being of once upon a time. It's his being of presently. Where the Rebbe is presently right now, in the highest levels in Shemayim. You connected to him when you learn his Torah and where he's holding there. As in brought down the Mamorim of Reb Hillel Paracha. And I'm so matbet fus that the Rebbe was printing in those years, 1940, 50. The Rebbe again was in charge of Kohas. That when a tzaddik passes away, it's the lower levels of the person's neshama. The bri yitzia siro, beisi shtatchus, mispashet gam al gushe atzilus. When you learn the Rebbe's teachings, you have him the way he is in the highest level. That's why it says Torah Tziva Lenu Moshe. Tziva, Miloshin Tzavs of Chibur, not commandment versus that's a commandment only. But Tziva, like the Rebbe always told us, to Tzavsa, to like this is the Torah that Moshe connects us. We connect to Moshe with his teachings. And when we learn Torah's Moshe, the Torah's Moshe of our generation, the Rebbe, we connect with the Moshe Rabbeinu of our generation. And we're connected, no matter where the Rebbe goes, we're with him. Because he put his essence in his Torah, and his essence as he's elevating, like the Rebbe says, that his spashas of even Atzilus, no matter where the Rebbe is, Nefesh of Atzilus, no matter what world's he in, no matter where he's holding, He's with his chassidim. And how is he with his chassidim when we learn that the Rebbe's Torah and his chassidim? The Torah is a chassid shel Rebbe, the studying of the Torah of the Rebbe's chassidus, Hamorish b'Torah. The luminary, not just the ore, but the source of light that's in the Torahs of the Rebbe. I met this like be'esi al dusi be'esi gnosis. So this is based on, again, the beginning of the talk, that when it comes to Torah versus any other umanus, any other, that it could say, like Reb Shimon Bar Yochai said, it's going to be with the person in the person's youth and the person's age. The Gam b'matzav sheyisur noch v'choyli, that it brings down, even if a person suffers, the Rebbe is with him. What's the idea of the definition of illness? When a person's ill, you're lacking something in the health of your Ramach of your 248 limbs, which are the mitzvahs say, which are the positive commandments, which are the say, the arteries, which are the prohibitions. The Rebbe says that the idea that the Torah of the Rebbe, even sometimes, you don't do what the Rebbe asks you to do. Not that you just you do everything the Rebbe asks you to do, but you're missing on other things. You're missing in essentials that the Rebbe asks you to do. Learning Rambam every day. Not that you shouldn't do it, God forbid, but if you have to have the filler. If the Rebbe asks you to do something, it's not like a casual ask. When the Rebbe asks something, it's a nice way of saying this is what you have to do. Or not such a nice way. It's saying it's not just the Rebbe's soft talking. The Rebbe's just saying that my bakash is a bakud as a command. It's just like you have every obligation to listen to what the Rabbanan say. You have to listen to a bakasha and a bakud of the Rebbe. The pasuk it says you have to listen to the Chacham. Ask your teachers and they'll tell you. This is the various opinions. According to the Maimonides, if you don't listen to the Sanhedrin, to the Chachamim, they are the pillars of guidance for all of Israel. They said something. Moshe Rambam and Chitas, they said this is what has to be done and it's been accepted. You're violating a biblical prohibition by not listening to the Rebbe. When it comes to chassid, and the Rebbe tells you to do something, you can't deviate from anything the Rebbe says. The Rebbe is the pillar that all guidance comes through the Rebbe to Yidden and Chassidim. And you don't listen to what the Rebbe asks. So you're sick. You're spiritually sick. It's like a person's missing a limb because you're violating and transgressing. It's also biblical. It's connected, like the Rambam says, to a biblical command. So what do? The Rebbe asks you to learn Rambam every day. The Rebbe asks us to do other things. Each person knows what the Rebbe wants from them. So what is the answer to that? To make up for that? Not that you should continue to not listen. It's no matter what, always learn the Rebbe's chassidus. Even if in a situation of spiritually sick, because you're lacking in listening what the Rebbe wants from you, or listen to what the Rebbe wants from you. Learning the Rebbe's chassidus keeps you connected. And that will help you, to heal you, to be able to start doing what the Rebbe wants from us. The Rebbe says it's possible. Returning to the Rebbe, let's say, you're going to listen to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe says, don't shave your beard. A chassid, a yid doesn't shave his beard. Is yirgezu alav avim? This is straight up, this is raw. The Rebbe is just saying it the way it is. Your parents would be upset at you. You look like a shlum. It's not our custom. We don't grow a beard. We're not chassidim. Well, if you're chassidim, we're modern chassidim / but when a person knows that the halacha says, halacha is if you have something lost, the article that belongs to your father or belongs to your teacher, who do you give back first? Two different items. Your teacher comes first. Because your father brought you into this world. But the Rebbe brings you into this world and to the other world. If you're worried about your parents being upset by taking on a chumrah, what the Rebbe wants from you, with all due respect to your parents, and no one's putting down the respect we have to have for our parents. But you listen to the Rebbe first. The nice is that the Rebbe adds, The truth is, your parents also want you to listen to the Rebbe. So by listening to the Rebbe, you're not going to be listening to the Rebbe versus your parents, because deep down, your parents have nachas and know that's the right thing for you. And if they love you, they know that's the right thing for you. The same Torah that says you have to respect your parents. The same Torah says you have to listen to your Rebbe. You'll see this was just a test. The Rebbe says your parents will just be upset shortly. Eventually they'll get over it, like they say. And instead of being your father being offended, you're going to affect your father. It says the signs of Mashiach is the because when you listen to the Rebbe and you learn what the Rebbe is saying, telling us to learn, you're learning the Rebbe's Torahs. You get all the flows of all the blessings, spiritually and physically, materially. Kasima Mishnah, V'chein Omer, like it says by Avram Avinu, God blessed Avram with everything. To live a miraculous life of the world to come. Like a person like the Rebbe spoke in later years about a geula life, a person who doesn't subscribe to gullus anymore. We should have the complete redemption. As the Rebbe wird uns führen and gegen Mashiach. The Rebbe is going to lead us to Mashiach. This finishes the third talk, I think. And we're going to give a little bit more. Actually, a little bit more than a little bit more, but we'll continue. We want to get to the next talk, which is the talk of Shabbos V'Rachim El we have to get to, but hopefully, and I don't know if we'll do Maimer this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we could finish, maybe start Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we could start the talk of Shabbos V'Rachim El. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and especially Chof today, the Rebbe's father's yahrzeit. A good day with Skashers, of course, writing a pound to the Rebbe, and donating to the Rebbe's, to the